TNPSC Combined Statistics Services Exam Unit 7 Statistical Quality Control. The most important word in statistical quality control is quality. The quality of a product is satisfactory when it is able to satisfy the stated and implied needs of the customer. The customer or consumer is a person or organization that use the product. Quality doesn't mean merely the goodness or fitness of a finished product. It is a relative term and is used generally with reference to the end use of the product. Since a product is manufactured for the use of a customer, the requirements of the customer dictates the quality of the product. Quality is to be planned, achieved, controlled and improved continuously. Control charts. A control chart is a statistical process control or a statistical process control chart or an SPC chart is one of several graphical tools typically used in quality control analysis to understand how a process changes over time. The main elements of a control chart include a visual time series graph that illustrates data points collected at specific time intervals, a horizontal control line to more easily visualize variations and trends, and horizontal lines representing upper and lower control limits placed at equal distances above and below the control line. These upper and lower limits are calculated from the data that is recorded on the time series graph over a specified period of time. Types of control charts. There are various types of control charts which are broadly similar and have been developed to suit particular characteristics of the quality attribute being analyzed. Two broad categories of chart exist which are based on if the data being monitored is variable or attribute in nature. The first control chart is X-bar chart. X-bar charts is used to study the deviation in the process average. Suppose that a quality characteristic is normally distributed with mean mu and standard deviation sigma. Then its UCL, that is upper control limit, is X bar plus 3 sigma bar by C2 root n and LCL is equal to X bar minus 3 sigma bar by C2 root n, where A2 is 3 by C2 root n. That is, we can substitute A2 in the place of 3 by C2 root n, and the control limit is X bar. Here the condition is both mean and standard deviation should be known. R chart. X bar chart studies changes in the process average. X bar chart is in control means the process average does not change except for random fluctuations. In fact, the process is in control does not always guarantee that individual items should be good. That is, even if the process average of different groups are the same, the group need not be identical. Variability may differ so long with the study of the process average, so we must study the process variability also. The process variability can be measured by using R chart and sigma chart. The control limit of R chart will be the expectation of R. Then control limit is R bar and UCL is equal to 1 plus 3 D3 by D2 into R bar, where D4 is 1 plus 3 D3 by D2. That is, when we calculate UCL, we can substitute D4 in the place of 1 plus 3 d3 by d2. And LCL is 1 minus 3 d3 by d2 into r bar, where d3 is 1 minus 3 d3 by d2. Next, we are discussing about P-chart. P-chart is a control chart for fraction defective. Suppose D is the number of defective units in a random sample of size n. We assume that D is a binomial random variable with unknown parameter P. Then P bar is equal to 1 by mn, summation I is equal to 1 to m. Di may be used as an estimate of P in the central line and control limits. Then CL is P bar and UCL is P bar plus 3 into square root of P bar into 1 minus P bar divided by n. And LCL is P bar minus 3 into square root of P bar into 1 minus P bar divided by n. The control limits are based on normal approximation to the binomial distribution. When P is small, this may not be adequate. In such cases, we may use control limits obtained directly from a table of binomial probabilities. If P bar is small, the lower control limit obtained from the normal approximation may be a negative number. If this should occur, it is customary to consider 0 as the lower control limits. Next, let's discuss about acceptance sampling. Acceptance sampling is a procedure to sort out good lot from bad lot based on the results of inspection. For the samples taken from the lot, manufactured articles of each product are packed in lots and are submitted for acceptance. For example, suppose a manufacturer of cricket balls supplies them in lots of 500. A buyer wants to inspect 20 balls from each lot before accepting the lot and takes a decision about the acceptance or rejection of the lot on the basis of the information provided by this sample. This is an example of acceptance sampling because the decision about the lot is taken on the basis of a sample. Here, two parties are involved. The first one is the customer who orders the article and finally receives them. And the second one is the producer or supplier who produces or supplies the articles to the customer. The customer desire is to accept the good quality lots only. To examine whether a given lot is acceptable or not, we adopt the sampling inspection or acceptance sampling. The general procedure is to take samples from a lot and inspect them, and if the result of inspection is satisfactory, accept the lot. He may make a decision using either single sample or two sample or more than two sample. This procedure is respectively known as simple sampling, double sampling and multiple sampling. If the quality characteristic under consideration is a variable characteristic, then it is known as variable sampling inspection. And if it is an attribute quality characteristic, then it is known as attribute sampling inspection. Now let us discuss about single sampling plan and double sampling plan. A single sampling plan is a lot sentencing procedure in which sample of n units is selected at random from the lot and the decision is taken on the basis of information contained in the sample. Articles are submitted in lot of size capital N. A single sampling plan requires the specification of two quantities which are known as the parameters of SSP or the single sampling plan. These parameters are n, small n, which is the size of the sample, and C, the acceptance number of the sample. Let's see how we conduct a single sampling plan. First, we draw a random sample of size small n from the lot of size capital N received from the supplier. Then, we inspect each and every unit of the sample and count the number of defective units D in it. Then, we compare the number of defective units D found in the sample with the acceptance number C. Here we have two options. If the number of defective units D is less than or equal to C, we accept the lot under the acceptance sampling plan and replace all defective units found in the sample by non-defective units under rectifying sampling plan. And if D is greater than C, we reject the lot under the acceptance sampling plan and accept the lot after inspecting the entire lot and replacing all defective units found in the lot by non-defective units under rectifying sampling plan. Now let us discuss about the implementation of double sampling plan. Suppose lots of the same size, say capital N, are received from the supplier or the final assembly line and submitted for inspection one at a time. The procedure for implementing the double sampling plan to arrive at a decision about the lot is as described in the following steps. First, we draw a random sample of size N1 from the lot of size capital N. This is our first sample. And inspect each and every unit of this first sample and count the number of defective units D1 in it. Then compare the number of defective units D1 found in the first sample with the acceptance numbers C1 and C2. Now we have three options. The first one is if D1, that is the number of defective units found in the first sample, is less than or equal to C1, the first acceptance number, then we will accept the lot. Or if D1 is greater than C2, the second acceptance number, then we will reject the lot. And another one option is if C1 less than or equal to D1 less than or equal to C2. In this condition, we will draw another random sample, that is we will take a second random sample of size N2 from the lot and count the number of defective units in this sample, and it is denoted by D2. Now compare D1 plus D2 with C2. We have to compare D1 plus D2 with C2. And if here D1 plus D2 is less than C2, then we will accept the lot. Or if D1 plus D2 is greater than C2, then we will reject the lot.